Hey, it's Candice Quinn from Contract Hack. So you're thinking about a JD MBA dual degree. Let me save you about $100,000 and 3 years of your life. I know the counselors make it sound like this is exactly what you need to do to be successful. You'll just be unstoppable if you get this dual degree. Law degree and business degree, you'll be running a Fortune 500 company in no time, right? Wrong. Today, I'm going to break down the 5 reasons why you should not jump into a JD MBA program before you've even finished law school. The dual degree is a trap for most people, and you should actually wait until later in your career to get that MBA. Look, I'm not shaming anyone who already got this dual degree. It's a very popular option, and it's really well sold to people. But if you're watching this and you're trying to decide, then you need to listen to this, because I'm going to share all the reasons why you should wait. So first, let me tell you where I'm coming from. I've been a paralegal, I've worked in firms, I've worked for the government, I've worked in-house, I've had my own firm. And here's what I wish someone had told me about these dual degree programs when I was in law school. They're designed for a very specific type of person with a very specific path. And that person, it's probably not you. It's definitely not most of the attorneys watching this channel. The dual degree programs are marketed as this flexible option that opens all kinds of doors for you. But what they aren't telling you is that those doors were probably already open with just the JD. And the MBA part, well, that's actually more valuable when you actually know what you're doing. I'm one of those people who waited to get my MBA until I was firmly in-house, and I was able to do an online program. I ran through it so quickly and got so much more value out of it because I already had so much business experience. It was both efficient and affordable, especially because I did it when I got laid off, and I was actually able to get my next employer to pick up part of the cost. And because I had lots of business experience, the things I learned with MBA program were deeper and more sophisticated because I could really tunnel down in. So let me break down the 5 reasons why waiting makes more sense for most people. Number 1, you don't know what you don't know. MBA classes are close to useless when you have no real world experience. So if you're a K to JDer and you've never had a job in a business, not a retail job or a part-time job as a kid, but like a full-time job in a business, then you don't know what you don't know. When you're doing this dual degree program, you're learning these concepts in a vacuum and you have no real world application to tie them to help them connect in your brain. You're sitting in a finance class learning about capital structures when you have no point of reference to understand what that looks like in real life. How do you study organizational behavior when you've never really been managed or managed anyone? If you haven't dealt with workplace politics, it's kind of hard to understand how to make those politics work for you. It's sort of like learning to cook by reading recipes but never tasting food. That's weird. So many attorneys that did the dual degree program have told me, I didn't really remember any part of the MBA until I started learning some business concepts in my job, and then things started kind of clicking, but I still needed a refresher. Now, compare that to getting your MBA 5 to 7 years after working in a business. Suddenly, that finance class isn't abstract theory anymore. The marketing courses make a lot more sense because you've actually seen the company go to market with a new product. The strategy courses clicked because you've watched leadership hit the mark or miss the mark. The MBA is exponentially more valuable when you have real world experience that you can tie it to. You'll retain more, understand deeper, and actually be able to use what you learn. When you're 24 and you've never had a full-time job, the MBA is just theoretical knowledge and you're just gonna forget it. Number 2, the cost isn't just money. The opportunity cost here is massive, and everyone pretty much ignores it. So a JD MBA saves you maybe 1 year of education. Most of these programs end up being 4 years instead of 5 years. But here's what you're actually giving up. First, it's income. That's potentially 3 to 4 years of an attorney's salary that you're not making when you are committing to the dual degree. Yes, you saved the year, but you still gave up time when you could have been earning and you weren't. Second, career advancement. When you're in the dual degree program, the other students in the JD program, well, they already started their legal careers and they're out there 1 to 2 years ahead of you now. They're getting promoted, they're building their practices and their networking. By the time you graduate with your dual degree, they're going to be like a mid-level already. They're so far ahead of you and you will never catch up to them. Third, self-awareness. Like, you need to know if you even like being an attorney before you know if you want to work in business. And what kind of MBA makes sense for you? Maybe you're going to go into a really specific niche, and a specific niched MBA would make more sense for you. Or maybe you could get by with just an executive MBA if you waited a little bit. I mean, if you found out that you loved litigation, the MBA would be completely useless. So you can't make smart decisions about your MBA when you don't even know exactly what you want to do yet or if you'll like it. Reason number 3, the job market actually doesn't care as much as the schools tell you they do about the dual degree. Employers just don't value dual degrees the way you think they will, or maybe even the way they should. Most legal employers don't care if you have the MBA coming out of school. For law firms, they want to know if you can do the legal work, and the MBA might actually scare them away because they're going to be afraid that you will jump to an in-house role. So it could actually stop you from getting the firm job that you want. But regardless, the MBA degree doesn't make you better at research or better at billing hours. It doesn't indicate anything about the work you'll do for the firm. And for in-house roles, they're unlikely to hire a just out of a JD MBA dual degree program to start there. In-house rarely hires brand new attorneys and trains them. They always usually take people from firms and move them over to in-house, where there is already some level of experience. In-house positions are usually okay with taking a lawyer who knows a lot of lawyer stuff and training them on the business side. Sure, the MBA could help you make a move once you're 5 to 7 years into your career, but it's rarely a requirement in a job description and never stopped me from getting an in-house position. And for business, legal, hybrid roles, they want someone who already has real experience, not just a degree. They want real experience. Now, contrast that with getting your MBA mid-career. If you are looking to go in-house or you already made the move in-house and you go to your employer and you're saying, hey, I'd like to go get an MBA, that's gonna add real value to your knowledge. And a lot of companies may even help you pay for it in its entirety or at least in part. And when you're done with that degree, you're now coming and you have law and business, which makes you so much more valuable to them. And you may be able to do it online, part-time. You may be able to do it full-time where they sponsor you and give you some kind of stipend to cover your living expenses. But you may not have to pay for it out of pocket at all, which would be amazing. Reason number 4, you're actually optimizing for the wrong thing. You're trying to maximize credentials instead of learning. And I get it, I really do. When you're 22, 23, 24, you're thinking about those letters behind the end of your name, and they seem really cool, especially if you're a first-generation college graduate. It feels like collecting credentials is safe. It's gonna give you so many more options, and people are really gonna look at you. But here's what actually happens. You get both degrees, you have more debt, and you're exhausted from learning straight for what, like 20 some years of your life? And now you still have to figure out what career path you want to pursue. And you still have to start building that career and making all the right moves. The same thing you would have had to do if you just had the JD. And because you've been in school this whole time, you don't have any real life experience to build on with this education. Compared to the attorney that graduates law school and works for 5 to 7 years and then returns to get an MBA. That MBA is specifically tailored to the path they know they like and want to do. It's much more strategic. It's not just collecting degrees, and it's actually investing in your career. You're able to choose the right program, choose the right specialization, and potentially even have it paid for by the employer. During the program, you're able to actually network with the people that will help build your career and be able to provide value to you in the future, and that you can also provide value to. And you'll enjoy it more because you'll understand why you're there and why it matters for your career. Reason number 5, flexibility is a feature, not a bug. Keeping your options open is actually smarter. The whole pitch for the dual degree is flexibility. You can do law, you can do business, or both. But here's the paradox. You actually have more real flexibility if you wait. If you graduate with a dual degree at 26 or 27, you're locked into trying to leverage both degrees. Otherwise, you're saying one of them is actually a waste of money. You probably have at least $200K in debt, if not more. And you really feel the pressure to use both degrees. So you need to find this unicorn role that somehow is using both of them. You're not free at all. You're actually trapped by your own credentials and the debt around them. But if you graduate with just your JD and you have the flexibility to start learning and going down different career paths within the legal field, then you can actually, with full knowledge, go into an MBA program if it's right for you and find the one that is right for you. Maybe you figure out that you don't want to be in law anymore at all, like a lot of us do, and you decide to pivot entirely and go to graduate school, but not an MBA, or an MBA, but you don't want to touch legal again. Or maybe you want to go in a completely different world, like maybe you want to go into public administration or government or something. And so you're looking at a completely different master's than an MBA. So the real flexibility isn't having 2 degrees at 26. It's having the wisdom and experience to make smart educational decisions at 32. Look, I'm not saying the JD MBA program is wrong for everyone. If you're absolutely certain that you want to do transactional or M&A work and you're sure you can get there, then sure, go ahead and jump in. If you have a scholarship and you're not really worried about the cost of it, yeah, that might be another reason to go for it. I really like learning. I like learning lots of things, but I'm really glad I didn't do the dual program. Even though I have both now, I actually did the MBA much faster than I would have if I had done a dual degree program. I was able to go through things at my own pace with lots of online courses, and it was really, really valuable to me in a way that it wouldn't have been in 2010 when I graduated law school. So if you're considering a dual degree, think through these 5 things before you jump in. And it's never too late to course correct. I'm going to tell you right now, I started an LLM program and I quit. I quit it. Why? After 1 class, because the whole federal government changed. Like they started just like obliterating the IRS. Why would I get a tax LLM if there's no more IRS, or I'm not sure of the future of the IRS? So you can always course correct, even if you're in that dual degree program. Don't think you're locked in, because you always have options. And if you want to discuss any of your options with me, just an ear to listen to them that understands where you're coming from, go ahead and schedule a free call with me. The link is in the pinned comment and the description below. Bye for now, hackers.